Hello folks, and welcome to a Way Brothers game shout out. Today we are shouting out Magical Unicorn Quest. Magical Unicorn Quest is by Flamepoint Games. I believe it's their first publication. This is a card game for 2 to 6 players, and in this game you are searching the magical forest to find magical unicorns. Your objective is to get into your stable both a golden unicorn and a majestic unicorn. The first player to do that successfully is the winner of the game, and it's just that simple. This game was released in 2019. Let's have a look at some of the cards in here. Basically, you've got mystical being cards. These are cards that can be beneficial or harmful for your or other person's deck. You got a werewolf here. He generally does mean things, and dwarfs do nice things for you. What's fun about this game is the cards stack. So if I have a dwarf right here, if I have one dwarf in my stable, it does one specific thing. Like in this case, if you have one or more dwarves in your stable, add a non-unicorn mystical being from your hand to your stable. So what's cool about this is if I have 3 dwarves, now if 3 or more dwarves are in your stable, you can do something different. In this case, add any amount of mystical beings from your hand to any stable. So you can play into your stable or to other players' stables. What's interesting about this is if you have a werewolf, you can play it into your own hand, or your own stable, which would be silly, or you can play it into someone else's and mess with them. Besides mystical being cards, we're also looking at mystical potions. You've got mystical magics, and these all do different things, because if the purpose of the game is just to get these 2 unicorns into your stable, it can be just as simple as just drawing those 2 cards from the deck, except people have cards like Halt, where play when a player tries to play a card from their hand. And if you're trying to get that last unicorn into your stable, Halt can be really annoying. Nevertheless, the game goes pretty quickly, which is quite nice for party game scenarios where you have some people that need to learn a new game, they need to learn it quickly, and they need to play it quickly, and you want to cycle a bunch of friends through. This is your game. The reason we are specifically shouting out Magical Unicorn Quest is because a Kickstarter is in the works for a revised edition. I don't think it's going to be called a revised edition. I believe it has a subtitle that is currently escaping my mind. We'll put it in the description. Anyway, this Kickstarter is coming out in the middle of April 2021, so coming up here pretty soon. The reason it's going to be fun to look out for this game is, for one, the rulebook is going to be expanded. The current rulebook is a little bit small. There's not really an appendix for the cards. So we're going to have the Magical Unicorn Quest box is going to be expanded in order to fit a larger rulebook that will have something like an appendix that can give you more specific descriptions for dealing with weird situations with all the different cards. There's also going to be a variable win condition introduced so that you don't just have to have the majestic unicorn and a golden unicorn. Instead, you'll be able to play a certain card that can let you win just by having 2 goldens or 2 majestics, so makes it a little more interesting. There's also going to be some modified card abilities. I'm not quite privy to exactly what those will look like, but I do understand that for the dwarf, for example, there may be a section added to where you only need 2 dwarves to do a certain ability, as opposed to 1 or 3. So a little more interaction involved there. And finally, I believe there's going to be some new cards added, some new mystical magics, mystical beings, mystical potions, all sorts of fun little things that you can use to make your game experience more interesting. So with that, come the middle of April, go check out the Kickstarter for Magical Unicorn Quest. There's going to be a fun new edition out there for you to play. Thanks guys, and have a lovely day.